Mr. Mike Hall is putting out a few more chairs for everybody. So thank you all for coming out this evening to learn about different candidates running for office. We appreciate it. I'm Josh Bass, President of the Currituck Chamber of Commerce. The Currituck Chamber of Commerce is a nonpartisan business membership organization, and we neither support nor oppose any political party or candidate. So we're going to get going here in a few minutes. If we can get the talking in the back to kind of quiet down, we're going to kind of get going here. Thank you. Please take a moment to check your cell phone to make sure it's turned off. We're going to try to film the candidates tonight. Each candidate, local candidates have been invited, and they have been given 3 minutes to give a quick introduction, and then voters can go around and meet the different candidates for office. We're going to try to post the film on social media and send it out to our members via email, but technology does not always work for us, so we're going to do our best, but no promises on that. I would like to take a moment to recognize our chamber board members in attendance. I know we have at least one. If any chamber board members can raise their hands and be recognized. We have Christy Perrott, Becky Howard from the chamber board, and any of our chamber ambassadors that are here, if they can take a moment to stand and be recognized. I see Susan Zimmerman. Are there any other chamber ambassadors here tonight? So, and Kim Moore in the back. So thank you for all you do for the chamber. They are our official volunteers. Thank you to Currituck County Cooperative Extension for the use of the auditorium this evening. Thank you to Juanita Crouch, Chamber Membership Director, tonight, and for filming and for all she does. Thank you to Denise Hall and Becky Howard, who both serve on the Currituck Chamber Board and helped organize this event. So we have just those speaking who are in opposed local races. So that will be the 2 Board of Commissioners races with primaries, the District Attorney's race, the Clerk of Court, District Court Judicial District 1, and NC Senate District 3, but I don't believe I've seen the candidates for Senate District 3 yet, but they may come. Oh, you are here. I'm sorry. Very good. Who is that?
Ernestine.
Ah, very good. Perfect. So Miss Senator Bazemore is here. Very good. I apologize, Senator. I didn't see you come in. So first up, we will have the candidate, and Mike Hall and Becky will be helping me keep time. Try to keep your introductory comments to about 3 minutes. We just want to get a brief overview of the candidates and then go around and meet all the candidates. First up, we have Mr. Leigh Reagan Smith running for the Board of Commissioners, District 5 seat. Mr. Smith, if you can come up, and he'll be followed by Jim Hudson.
Good evening, Currituck. I just wanted to say what a blessing it is and an honor to actually be here this evening. What a privilege it is to be here. And I just wanted to take a brief moment and say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for putting this on so that folks can get out, meet the candidates, and learn who we are, and have any questions or concerns can hit us up afterwards. I just wanted to say that campaigning here as of late has just been an awesome opportunity to go out and meet folks. We have such a beautiful county. Once before, I kind of took it for granted because I was always working, I was always traveling, and, I would go 9 to 5, 6 in the morning till probably 8 o'clock at night until I got home. And, you tend to take things for granted when you're tired and you're wore out. But this campaigning has just given me this wonderful opportunity to see the beautifulness of the county, see all the resources that are here, from agriculture, to raising animals, to construction companies, to all the skilled trade laborers that are out there right now. And that is one of the things that I would like to try to focus on if we could. If we could bring the vocational technical schools back to the county. Now I just wanted to say that, you have to be committed in order to be able to run for county commission. You gotta have the time to dedicate. And since I've just recently retired, I now have that time to dedicate and be focused and be humble about it and listen to all the citizens in the county. I believe to be a county commissioner, you must have the compassion for the people that you that live in this county. You must listen to them. And you got to take it with a sense of urgency and not just take it with a grain of salt. You got to be passionate about where you live. You got to be excited as well. And I tell you right now, there is a lot to be excited about in Moyock. The growth that is going on right now, it needs to be controlled. It needs to be managed. We need to take a look at, infrastructure. We need to ensure that the integrity, the safety, and the education of the students in the county, come foremost. We need to promote the fire departments. We need to promote the sheriff's departments. They're underhanded right now, folks. And the schools, they're getting overcrowded. The other thing we got to do is we got to be convicted. We got to have conviction of the things that we stand for. Whether we appreciate things or not, there are going to be times that we don't agree. But we got to have conviction and understanding what is needed to support this growing community versus being reactive. We need to be proactive, because I can tell you something. If you fail to plan, you're going to plan to fail. And we need to stop. We need to be proactive instead of breaking the glass in case of emergency. Over time, this county has just grown. I've been here 17, going on 18 years. The opportunities are just here. We need to keep it here. We need to promote small businesses. And we need to flourish the small businesses and take a look at the taxes that are getting ready to come in the county and utilize them to give incentives to small businesses, whether it be through tourism, whether it be through, communication factors. That is one thing that we need to talk about, is communication transparency. So the one thing that I do love about this county, at the end of the day, whether we're down, sick, broken, we all stick together. So my hope is that you will stick together and vote for me as county commissioner.
And I neglected to point out that all three candidates running for the Moyock District 5 seat, this is a Republican primary. So if you're voting in the Republican primary, you'll be able to vote for any of these candidates. And that is true of all of our races until you get to State Senate, District 3. That is being held in the Democratic primary. So whether you're voting in the Democratic or Republican primary, there are candidates here for either of you. And also, if you're unaffiliated, you can pick which primary you'd like to vote in, whether the Democratic or the Republican. And the election is being held Tuesday, or the primary is being held rather, Tuesday, May 17th, and early voting is going on now. Contact the Board of Elections for more information on early voting if you need to know those times. And we're trying to signal to you in the front row, me, Becky, and Mike Hall, if you've gone to the 3-minute mark. So if we start waving at you, we're trying to let you know you're right there at the 3-minute mark and try to start wrapping it up. So next up, and we're going in reverse alphabetical order for all the candidates, Mr. Jim Hudson. He'll be followed by Owen Etheridge.
Good evening, everybody. You guys hear me? Because I'm deaf in one ear and I can't hear out of the other one, so I'm in dire need of hearing aids, as my wife continuously tells me all the time. Thank you to the board for allowing this to happen, the chamber for getting everyone together and in providing me and my opponents, as well as the other candidates, the opportunity to share our views and positions with you all. I'm a transplant to Currituck. Moved here in 2007 with my wife and 3 children from San Diego. I was born in Cincinnati. The Navy put us out here, and we decided we would stay. Retired out of the Navy in 2009 and wouldn't live any other place. A peaceful place to live, a beautiful place to live, and that's kind of what kept us here. And to be quite honest with you, it's cheap to raise a family. So that's been my experience. A pivotal moment, I believe, in the history of the county. A lot of expansion going on, a lot of opportunity for tourist dollars, and it seems at times that development is kind of occurring around us and within the county. Whether or not that's balanced is something to be debated later on. But I have a lot of motivations that put me in this race. I'm not a politician. This is the first time I've ever thrown my hat in the ring for any elected position whatsoever. But thankfully, for the system of government that we have, it allows us as citizens, each and every one of you, if you disagree with our local government or our federal government, we can step up if we believe we have a different idea or maybe a better way of doing things. We can come forward and make that happen. Outside of that, I thank you all again for the opportunity, and I'll be over here on the far left with Rick and Kim, and please come by and talk to us. I'll be mingling with you all and getting to know some of your names and talking with you all as well. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Next up is Mr. Owen Etheridge, and that will be the last of the 3 candidates for District 5 Republican primary.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing this evening? I want to thank the Currituck Chamber, its President Josh Bass, Juanita, Becky Howard, and our Registered Deeds Denise Hall for sponsoring tonight's event. I need to also apologize to the voters of Currituck County for not being able to get out and see people face to face because of my recent accident and injuries. But I'm glad to tell you that I will see a complete recovery from the injuries I did suffer. I could stand here tonight and talk to you about the many accomplishments that I have been involved in this county since I've been a county commissioner. Accomplishments that have placed Currituck among the upper echelon of North Carolina's 100 counties. Accomplishments or achievements like this building we're in tonight. We have had the largest building program in the history of Currituck County during my tenure on the Board of Commissioners. We have maintained our school funding so that we're among the top 15 funded school systems in the state. These are accomplishments that this county can be very proud of. We have some of the best public safety services like our Sheriff's Department, EMS, our volunteer fire departments, to provide vital services to our citizens. But we're not here to talk about the past. We're here to talk about our future and what our vision of the future is all about. Currituck's at a crossroads, and what our future will entail will be determined by this election and the track that we're going to take. Currituck cannot escape the responsibilities of tomorrow without knowing, understanding the past, and it takes experience to know and understand what the past is. A great American patriot, Patrick Henry, said it best in a speech he made to the Virginia Convention on March the 21st in 1775, and I quote, "I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know of no way to judge the future but by the past," unquote. Experience is necessary to grow our county and the services that we provide to our citizens to keep pace with the demands of the future. The only question before you in this election, this primary election, is who has the proven track record of conservative leadership, but more importantly, who has the experience and who has that experience necessary to lead our government forward and navigate the maze of both state and federal government. I commend my two opponents for running. They're both good men, but neither have a shred of experience in county government or any facet of county government. I have the proven track record of conservative leadership, and I respectfully ask for your consideration and vote on May the 17th, or if you vote in the early voting now. Thank you for coming this evening.
right, that concludes the 3 candidates for Board of Commissioners for the Moyock seat, District 5. Next up, we have the 2 candidates running in the primary for Board of Commissioners seat District 3, which are Mike Payne and Kim Moore. First up is Mr. Mike Payne.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for coming out this evening. I want to thank the Chamber for coming out this evening, and thank the Chamber too for all they do for our small businesses in the community. We really need them, and we appreciate them. A little bit about myself. Again, my name is Mike Payne. I'm the current District 3 County Commissioner. I grew up in Currituck County, and I graduated in 1982 from Currituck County High School. At the age of 17 after graduation, I decided to join the United States Navy. My parents had decided for me because I was too young. But after serving in the Navy, I returned home and went to the College of the Albemarle. I got a business degree and a trade degree in heating and air conditioning. I currently own a heating and air conditioning business, which is CT Mechanical, located in Poplar Branch, North Carolina. I employ local individuals that work for me, and I just recently hired some high schoolers that wanted to learn a trade. They're going to start working for me. They see the value of learning a trade in our system and getting out of work right out of high school. So I'm happy to see our young adults getting active in that. I married my high school sweetheart, Judy Jordan Payne. We've been married since 1989. We have 1 daughter. My mother retired from the school systems. She was well respected, good values. She brought them to me, being honest, sincere, and do what you say you're going to do. I'm a volunteer firefighter too. I believe in giving back to the community, helping the citizens, protecting them by being a volunteer firefighter, getting called out all times of the day and night to be there for our citizens. I'm also a member of Poplar Branch Baptist Church, and I've been a member of Currituck Kids. A lot of people know what Currituck Kids is. It's a local organization started in 2008. We believe that no child in our society should be without. And we want to make sure we provide the needs for those children, whether it was clothes, food, medicines, whatever. And I've enjoyed helping the young adults in our community. And I've coached in the school systems, I've coached recreation. I just believe being involved with our youth, they need us out there, that's the future. Another thing I'm proud of too is the CTE programs, vocational technicals. Since I first ran, I've talked to family members, students, parents, how important it is to have another choice out of high school, not just 4-year college. I've been an advocate talking at the state level to school leaders, local school boards, of trying to get this program started. I recently received an award from the Currituck County School Systems as appreciation for my involvement with the CTE programs, helping them get started in the school systems. The students need another choice after high school, and I am a very strong proponent of making that happen. Since I've been on the board, we've always had a balanced budget. We've been able to set money aside. By setting that money aside, we've been able to fund some of the school projects and other capital projects without having to borrow money, which is a positive for our citizens. I believe in conservatism, saving where you can, and bringing in businesses in the county, because as we bring businesses in the county, guess what? That helps on your tax dollars. Carrier Corporation, a large air conditioning company, was looking at Dare County to build a distribution center, and I was able to convince them they're opening up a branch here in Lower Currituck. And there's a lot more I can talk to you about. I talked about the history of Currituck and everything else I've done. My 3 minutes are up. I have a table back there, a lot of information on it. Love to talk to you some more, and I appreciate your support. Vote again on May 17th. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I see some more chairs coming out. I see some folks in the back. Next up, the second candidate for Board of Commissioners, District 3 primary seat, Miss Kim Moore.
Hi there, my name is Kim Moore, and I am running I'm not originally from Currituck. My husband and I moved here just over a decade ago. We wanted a place to raise our 4 daughters that was outside of the city. I've seen many changes in Currituck since I've lived here. While I understand we want to welcome all and not close the door behind us, I feel our growth should be better planned. The northern quarter, as I'm sure you have all noticed, is being filled with house after house with no regards to saving room for businesses to come into our county. In my opinion, improving infrastructure is the most important. My opponent stated in the Daily Advance on April 27th, the county is working on infrastructure to accommodate the development. I believe the county should have been proactive on the infrastructure as opposed to being reactive, and we should have already had infrastructure in place before allowing all of the development. We need to be laser focused on attracting businesses to this county. Businesses help offset our tax burden. I support responsible, controlled growth, allowing time for our infrastructure to catch up with the current residential growth before approving more. Currently, I believe the county is acting more reactive and not keeping up with the pace of our needs. I want a more proactive approach for today, tomorrow, and in our future. Unified government is rearing its head again. As a Republican, I am staunchly against relieving the people of any power. I also do not believe there is any such thing as free money. Everything comes with conditions and costs. Unified government was put into the hands of the Currituck residents several years ago and was resoundingly vetoed by the citizens of Currituck. I've spoken with many folks regarding unified government, and many of them still feel the same as they did when they vetoed it. They do not want it. I will leave you with this final thought. If you are currently happy with the status quo we are currently seeing in our county, then vote for my opponent. If you're not happy with the status quo that we see in our county, and you want to see change that will better our county, then vote for me. Thank you.
All right, so that was Mr. Payman and Ms. Moore, candidates for the Republican primary Board of Commissioners District 3 seat. Next up, we will have candidates, and they're actually both going to be represented by their spouses for District Attorney. The races for that are Ms. Kim Pellini and Mr. Jeff Cruden. I believe there is a forum tonight at our neighbors in Perquimans County, so they are both had already committed to that forum before we planned this, so they're both going to be represented by their spouses this evening. First up, we have Mr. Paul Pellini representing his wife, Ms. Kim Pellini, running for the Republican primary District Attorney seat.
Hi, good evening. Again, I'm Paul. My wife is Kimberly. She's running for District Attorney for District 1. I never, in the 28 years of our marriage, ever assumed that I would be in this position to be representing her, because even for her, she never expected to ever be running for something along these lines. You can go to vote411.org and find all of the candidates in this area, information in regards to their qualifications and so forth. So I'm not going to go over too much of what I have written here because it's all found online. What I'd like to tell you is what I've experienced as a citizen of Currituck, as well as this first judicial district for the past 16 years. Actually more, we've lived here longer, but Kim was still in law school at Regent University, getting her law degree while I was still active duty. And so her first job right out of law school was with the district attorney here. in District 1. But as a citizen of this district, I've seen Kim put just hours and hours and hours, countlessly, into listening to jail phone calls at home, taking time to be with victims and their families, getting called from victims advocate personnel and asked to come to court in cases where she's not necessarily even the lead prosecutor, just to sit with the kids who she's made a bond with, because in some of these cases we know kids don't speak up because they're afraid, and she's provided that support for them to let them know that she's there. And so we've literally have not gone on some vacations and not gone and done some family things because Kim has dedicated herself to this office and to this district as a prosecutor all of this time. Routinely, she can't turn off her phone. She can't have a beer at night and wind down or some wine, because sometimes officers call from all of the counties, minus some of the further away counties potentially, but she gets phone calls from people, magistrates, and she's constantly the person everyone goes to. She's recognized as the expert in this district. She really is. You can ask any officer, I invite you to, what their thoughts are. If you know any of the magistrates, I invite you to just ask, what are your thoughts? You don't have to ask them, who would you vote for? Because everybody likes the two candidates. I mean, they're both good people. They're both good prosecutors. But when it comes to Kim, nobody has a negative thing to say. She is dedicated for you, dedicated for this district. This is her passion, and this is where she belongs. Obviously, I'm a little biased. 28 years of marriage, I can't say more about my wife. I really can't. She's amazing. She's an amazing person. She wishes that she could be here tonight, but she had already, as well as Mr. Cruden, taken a spot in her Clemens County at another speaking engagement, so neither of them are here, unfortunately. But if you come to the back and would like more information, I have it. I've been authorized to provide you her cell text number if you would like to text her a personal question even that you may have, if you're on the fence even. But I can tell you, if she's the next district attorney for District 1, you will get all of her, 100% of her. I can guarantee that. And she will be here for you, just like she has been for the past 16 years, without question. Thank you very much.
All right, next up we have, speaking for Mr. Jeff Cruden, his wife, Miss Tabby Cruden.
Good evening. As he said, I'm Jeff's wife. Jeff and I met in law school, like 100 years ago, and we were law school classmates, and so we've known each other. We've been married 28 years, like Kim and Paul. I'm always amazed when I hear Kim speak, and now hearing Paul speak, the similarities actually between our lives. We've been married the same amount of time. They were both in the Navy about the same amount of time. They both have dedicated their lives to public service. I'm here to tell you just a little bit about Jeff. I'm the wife, so I can get away with bragging on him a little bit, maybe in ways that he wouldn't do for himself. But what I want you to know about him is that he has made an entire career out of this. He has been a prosecutor for 28 years. He started out here in the 1st District. We bought our first house on Maple Street in Elizabeth City, and we lived there for 3 years. My job took us back to Raleigh. I struggled here with finding my place, but I ended up having much more opportunity back in Raleigh, which ended up being a blessing for Jeff in some ways, because he didn't really want to leave this district, but he went to the 10th District, and he stayed. He's been a prosecutor, an assistant DA the whole time, but so he moved to that office, which is the Raleigh-Wake County DA's office. And because of the volume that they have, he was exposed to a lot more cases. He was exposed to a bigger variety of cases. He was exposed to higher complexity of cases, and that has added to the years of experience that he had in ways that he might not have accomplished had he stayed here that whole time. We have lived back in the 1st District for going on 7 years now, and he's been a prosecutor back here in this district working with Andy Longwell. Some of the happiest years of our life. We love it here. This is where we're going to stay. And what I would say about him is that he's a Christian conservative. He's a man of strong faith. It informs his decisions about justice, about how he treats people, and it informs the way he raises our family and the way that our relationship works. So something very important to him is integrity. Your word is your bond. If he says he's going to do something, that is what he's going to do. He's fair. He takes into account all the sides. A lot of times there are different pressures that come to bear. I'm sure, Kim and Paul could say the same thing about their lives. Different pressures that come to bear on these people that make these really difficult decisions on a daily basis. And it's really important that you pick somebody that has the experience to have gone through this, to have seen how things work out, to make the right decision regardless of the pressures that come to bear on them. Some of you, may remember what happened recently with Andrew Young in Elizabeth City, some very difficult decisions, a lot of pressure on the district attorney, and that is a position that requires a lot of fortitude, intestinal fortitude, and I would tell you that that's something that Jeff Cruden has, and we'd appreciate your consideration in early voting on May 17th. Thanks.
All right, so those were the spouses of the two candidates running in the Republican primary, again for district attorney, Kim Pellini and Mr. Jeff Cruden. Next up, we will have the candidates for North Carolina Court District 1 judge. In order, Jeff Moreland, B.J. McAvoy, and Jennifer Bland. Is anybody here representing Mr. McAvoy? I hadn't seen anybody. Is there anybody here to speak on his behalf? All right, we will have the spouse of Jeff Moreland, Ms. Laura Moreland, up to speak on behalf of Mr. Moreland.
Good evening, Currituck. How are y'all doing? So I'm Laura Moreland. I am Jeff Moreland's other half, aka the better half. He's not here tonight, so I get to say that. I've been married to this man for 21 years, y'all. So no one knows him better than me. And there's good and bad to that, isn't that true? Now, I'm not the politician. I'm the principal. That's a different P word. So my audience, I'm a middle school principal, is normally around 13 years old. So this is different dynamics for me, but the same in that we are both community service workers. So today I'm asking you, you have to make a choice. And I'm asking you, are you ready to make the best choice? And so democracy is a great thing. You have 3 candidates for this position. You have 3 other candidates, 2 of which are here tonight. And so choices, we think about choices. How many people have been to the grocery store in the past year and have not been able to find their first choice? I mean, everyone's hand should go up. Doesn't matter if it's bread, milk, French fries. I have to have crinkle cut fries. I love them. They're my best choice. They're my favorite. And it doesn't matter to me what brand they are. Great Value, Food Lion, I don't care, but that is my best choice. The same thing goes for Diet Mountain Dew. You can see my drink in the back. All the kids at my school know, like, if you want to cheer Miss Moreland up, bring her a Diet Mountain Dew. I know it's not healthy, but when Jeff Moreland goes grocery shopping, he better buy Diet Mountain Dew. I don't care if it's not on sale. I don't care if it's $7 for a 12-pack. He better come home with Diet Mountain Dew, and he does, because it is the best choice. It's my favorite. The same goes for you, whether you're Folgers coffee or Breyer's mint chocolate chip ice cream. Everyone has their best choice. It's their favorite. Years ago, we were married at this point for 5 years. I think I was 23 years old, and we had to buy our first lawnmower. So can you remember when you bought your first lawnmower? We went to Lowe's, and they had the good, better, best option. Now, Jeff is a true conservative, so which option do you think he wanted? He wanted to save some money. He did his research on Consumer Reports. He said, Laura, we don't need those features. We're going to go for the good option. Basically, you pull this thing and you mow, right? I wanted the best option. We're military veterans. We had a Lowe's discount of 10%, And I wanted the best option, the one that had a bigger motor and it had cruise control, y'all, cruise control. So don't you know, this man leaves for Iraq 3 months later. 3 months later. Now we just bought a house and I have to mow over a half an acre on my own. And that mower died on me the first 3 months we owned it. So what do? I go right down to Lowe's and I buy me that best model. Okay, this thing had cruise control. The whole time he was in Iraq, I was on cruise control with that mower. It was wonderful. So what are the moral of these two stories? The moral is you need to pick the best option. No matter what you do in life, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a farmer, a clerk, a Walmart worker, you need to do it the best you can. I need to be the best wife, the best mother, the best principal, the best follower of Christ that I can possibly be every day. You need to do the same. And I'm asking you, pick Jeff Moreland. He's the prosecutor. He's been a defense attorney. He's a veteran and he's a community supporter. That is the best option. I'm asking you to choose us, to choose Jeff Moreland, my crinkle cut fry, my Diet Mountain Dew man. He is the choice for district court judge, and we hope we have your support. Thank you and have a good evening.
Next candidate for the District Court 1 Republican primary, Ms. Jennifer Bland.
Good afternoon, everyone. I can't wait to get home and tell my husband how lucky he is that after seeing all of these spouses having to speak. My name is Jennifer Bland, and I'm currently serving as your district court judge for this particular seat. I'm also a wife. My husband owns a small business in the community. He works in both Currituck mainly and Dare County. And so I understand the challenges that small business owners face. I'm also, my most favorite title is mom. I have a 5-year-old little girl. She's attending kindergarten this year and her name is Aria. And so I am doing this for my child, for your children, to try to improve Northeast North Carolina. I graduated from Manio High School in 1998. During my early childhood years, we traveled throughout the United States. My dad was a United States Navy retired, and so we traveled all over the place, and we moved to Northeast North Carolina in 1995. Like I've heard a lot of other people, military coming back, came here, graduated in 1998, and went off. When I graduated from law school, because I am local as it gets, just like my husband, I wanted to make a difference in Northeast North Carolina. And so I came back to this area and was a prosecutor for 13 years trying to improve this community prior to becoming one of your district court judges. And I have been on the bench for approximately 8 months now. While I was in the district attorney's office, because I am so passionate about making a difference, I served on a number of boards. While I was in the DA's office, I was on the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council for over a decade. And the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council is a board where we try to link up juveniles with different resources in the communities, trying to make sure that they don't come in front of me and get charged with crimes later on. I was also on the Recovery Court Board, the Drug Court Board at its inception, and helped with the creation of that, along with our resident Spear Court judge, and served on that board until I became one of your district court judges. And basically that board, we all know that the opioid crisis is afflicting this area. And so we would provide intense supervision to the individuals who are on that. They were individuals that were charged, and then providing intense supervision to those individuals, also linking them up with different rehabs and so forth. I was also on the Domestic Violence Crime Prevention Organization for a number of years. I taught law enforcement during the legal component of the standardized field sobriety training, and those are just some of the things that I did while in the last 13 years since being in Northeast North Carolina after graduating. I'm asking for your vote to keep me as your district court judge, quite frankly, because I'm the most experienced candidate. Jeff Moreland is a really good prosecutor, but he's only been in the DA's office for about 5 years. Compared to my 13 years in the DA's office, I tried everything from rape to murder to embezzlement to larceny. My 13 years plus 8 months on the bench versus his 5 years, I just have more experience, and I think that one day he probably would make a fantastic district court judge, but I do think that he needs a little bit more experience, because the things that I do every single day affect families' lives and children's lives daily. I do child support, child custody. I'm more than a hope and a promise of what I will be. I am actually sitting as your district court judge. Mr. McAvoy is the other candidate who's not present today, and he's never tried a jury trial case. So I am the candidate with the experience, and I'm humbly asked for your vote on May 17th. Thanks, y'all.
All right, last but not least, we have candidates for State Senate District 3. This is the first of the Democratic primary. If you're voting in the Democratic primary, you will be picking between these candidates. Everybody prior to this was on the Republican primary ballot. Is there anybody here tonight to represent Valerie Jordan? Not seeing anybody. Okay. So your candidates are Miss Valerie Jordan and Miss Ernestine Bazemore. And I know we have Miss Bazemore with us this evening. So Miss Bazemore, you are up to speak for Senate District 3, Democratic primary.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Senator Ernestine Bazemore. I'm from Byrd County, and it is indeed a pleasure to be with you this evening. I thank the Currituck Chambers for inviting me, and trust me, I have come a long way to be with you tonight. I have 3 children, grandchildren, and I was visiting my granddaughter in Charlotte because she broke her arm. She's one of 3 triplets. She's a triplet. So I said, I promised them I would be here, and I'm here. And I so thank you for inviting me. And I just want to say that I'm a retired educator of 28 years. And from there, I went on to politics. I didn't really want to get in politics because I was told that politicians tell lies. And I didn't want that. I had a good rapport with God, so I didn't want to mess that up. But I read in His Word that all you have to do is be fair among the rich, the poor, the orphans, the widows. And I was like, well, I can do that. And so once I got into it, I served as a commissioner for 6 years. From that, I was the chairman. From the chairman, I went to a state director, and I've served on many, many boards. But the main thing for me is humans. It's all about humans. Your love you have for humans. Infrastructure, yes, that's good, but it pains me to see elderly and people left out of the equation. It's time for us to look at humans, because that's what it's all about. I'm like my friend here. I was in a terrible car accident. I totally lost my car and almost totally lost me. But through it, I was able to see the need for doctors in the hospitals, staff in the hospital. So we have to pay attention to this. I wish we could erase the lines of Republican and Democrat and look at the candidate that has passion for what they're doing, because that is what we're lacking. We're lacking passion. You know, it's not about a title or a job, but it's about truly helping others. And that's why I ran for that reason, to help someone less fortunate than me, to be a voice for the voiceless, to help counties in their need. So that's why I'm here, and I want to thank you again, Chambers, for inviting me. And I hope to see and speak with you after. Thank you.
All All right, this concludes the candidates we had invited this evening. There are some other candidates running for Congress around the room. In the Republican primary, we have some candidates here running for county commissioner in the fall, both Republican and Democratic. So please go around the room, meet these folks. We did this just to do a quick flavor of the candidates, but then they have tables and they're around the room set up to meet you and talk to you, and we really want it to be more interactive. So if you're interested to know more about a candidate, please go talk to them this evening. Thank you, and we appreciate you being here.